there, welcome to my weekly energy reading, which is actually kind of be an overview of how I see this year going. So a little bit more than a week. Welcome to 2022. If you don't know who I am, my name's Karen from KarenTurpin.com. I'm an abundance coach for working mostly with spiritual women and female entrepreneurs, but with many other types of people too. So here I am. It is the 4th of January. Here in Sydney, Australia, anyway. So here's my little overview of what I think is going to be coming up kind of energetically for us through this year, 2022. So looking at my notes, obviously, unrehearsed, unscripted. I think this year is going to be the year of revelations and truth. About time, right? I hear you saying. Now, the thing is with these revelations, I should say, there may have to be some revolution, because clearly where we are right now on the planet is a pretty stuck place. People are, on all sides of the equation, and people are pushing for their rights, for their freedom, and for their sovereignty. And in that process, there may be riots, there may be unrest, there may be what appears to be chaos. But, very often out of that chaos comes the order, right? So even though it's a year of revelation and truth, there may be some revolutions that need to happen. So maybe the riots and protests and marches and things like that, they don't all have to be violent, of course. In fact, none of them do, but sometimes people's anger boils up, so those things can happen. Obviously, we don't want them, but things happen, right? This year is going to be a year of many shocks as things are revealed, truth is revealed, and it's going to be very shocking for many people. I kind of consider that I know a lot of what's been hidden, but really what I know is probably just the tip of the iceberg. So it's possible that I'll be shocked too. We're not immune from that. But I think collectively there is going to be a major fallout, in terms of when people come to the realizations of what's been going on, of what's been hidden, of how they've been lied to, of how they've been manipulated and controlled, and what's really been going on behind the scenes, or should we say underground. They're going to be in shock. People will be in shock. There will be a fallout from that. So what we all agree to participate in is what creates the experience that we have. And so through history, people have agreed with, what has been put forward to them. Everybody, it's like in a collective agreement. We've all agreed that this is how things are. This is how society works. But as people discover that there's a whole other world going on that they weren't aware of, there's going to be anger coming up. They're going to want to know why this was hidden from them, or why they've been manipulated, lied to, etc. So there's going to be a lot of emotional stuff coming up for people in the collective, and the sensitive ones of us are going to be feeling the fallout from that. It's so important that we, if we don't already know how to be grounded and stable, then really you need to be doing that now, because it's going to be even more important as we go forwards. It's really, because these collective belief systems are collapsing. People are questioning, and so they should. It's like the spell is broken for many of us already, but breaking down for other people. People are beginning to think for themselves finally. Of course, we can look around and see that many are not yet. They are still heavily, under the mind control, the programs that have been fed to them. So there is a lot of people still, under that mass mind control, where they can't think for themselves. It's a little bit unkind to call them sheep, but that is commonly, what people have been calling them, where they follow blindly, right? But many of those people that were sheep, for want of a better expression, are waking up and they're asking questions and things don't make sense to them. When we see people questioning that were following blindly and now we see them questioning, that's what I mean when I say that the spell is beginning to break or the cracks are starting to appear. Now, if we look at mainstream media, we know that they've been paid off to put out a specific program. It's propaganda. We know they've been paid to do that. Now, I also heard some time ago, probably about 10 months ago, that the mainstream media would have to get on board with the truth being revealed. They've resisted, clearly, because here we are, all that time later. However, if you pay attention, if you watch carefully, you will see that they are beginning to backflip a little bit in some of their reports. So when at one point they were saying, this is the way it is, now they're coming out with, oh, it appears that it's this. Now we can say, what the hell? That's really confusing. But it's a strategy to make people think and question for themselves so that they wake up. So we could say from that perspective, it's part of the good guys' agenda to make people question to the point that they wake up out of the spell, out of the illusion, and they begin to think for themselves. And that's really important because we're moving into the age of freedom and sovereignty. If they can't think for themselves, how can they ever be sovereign? So that's what that's all about. Now, as things reveal, and there will be some horrors that reveal, people may go into fear and despair. Don't get caught up in that. Stay in your center. Find your peace in the center of the storm that will be spinning all around you. It's kind of inevitable that there's going to be, we could even call it a shitstorm because all sorts of things are going to be coming up. So it's really important that you stay centered and stable. And of course, that I always recommend meditation. And if you don't have a regular meditation practice, if you've been saying, oh, I should, well, now, yes, you should, because it's going to be important that you can stay centered, grounded, stable. Now, there's an energy coming through. Where's it coming from? From the universe? Is it astrologically? I really think it's all geared up in, our consciousness field. But the energy is one of propulsion. It's moving us forward, pushing us forward. And that's a really good thing because personally, I feel that forward motion, that flow. Now, not everybody is kind of on the same wave of moving forward. And in fact, some people that I thought were really going to be there with me, that were really awake and aware of what's happening and what's going on, appear to have fallen back. We have to always respect one's personal or soul choice. They may be on the next wave, who knows? I don't know. All I have to focus on is me. All you have to focus on is you, because at the end of the day, that's all we ever have control over. You can't make another person do something that you think is right, because for them it may not be. So I feel personally that we're being pushed or propelled forward to the point of no return. In a sense, there's no going back. You make your decision and that's it. It's a little bit like, if you get on a plane that's going to that destination, there ain't no getting off until the plane lands. You can't open the door and parachute out, really. Not so easily. So I feel we're at this point of no return almost. Make your decision and stick by it. Will you move forward into your truest expression, highest potential, or will you dilly-dally, procrastinate, doubt yourself, sit back a bit, wait a bit? It's not the time for that. I will talk more about that later. Bypassing and denial is going to be futile. If you know you have work to do, if you've got subconscious blocks, things that are holding you back, if you've got emotional wounds, if you've got healing to do, self-healing, all of that. This is not the time to procrastinate on that either, because this energy that's moving through is going to sweep you up in it, and a whole world of shit from your past that you haven't dealt with is going to come up. It's going to come up anyway. There is no ignoring it, denying it, bypassing it. If it's there, it's going to come up. We've had years to prepare for this time. We've been talking about this for years. Do your inner work, clear up the shitstorm of your past, your regrets, your doubts, your fears, your guilt, whatever it is. It's the time now to get it done. Let it go, heal it, release it, forgive, raise yourself to a different vibration, because all of those things, feelings from the past are heavy. They're holding your vibration down. To get the most of this year and this new era, new timeline that we're moving into, you need to shift your vibration up by getting rid of the heaviness. You can't ignore it. You're going to be forced to look at it. If there's things you've been not wanting to deal with, they're going to be coming up. So find the courage to face these things. Find the support to help you get through this. Of course, I am a coach, I'm a healer, I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm happy to support you in this process. This is what I've been doing for almost 25 years. So reach out, to the people that you think can best help you. Because we're going to be going through a very stressful time. This is not just about you, though it's everything about you. But remember that what you're being pushed to look at and to go through, everybody around you is being pushed in the same way. So collectively, there probably will be a huge level of stress coming up. And again, as I say, get clear, do your work so that you can remain stable through all of that. People are going to have to do whatever they do to cope with this. Now, we're connected to everything. We all keep saying we are all one, we're connected, but we forget that what's going on in the greater consciousness field, in the collective, is going to be affecting us. We're not immune to that. And so again, you have to do what you need to do to cope. Everybody else will be doing the same. But the thing is, the often bad behaviors that we go to when we need support, when we can't cope with our stress. So whether that's drugs or emotional eating or drinking or whatever it is that used to give us relief when we were stressed and needed a space out in order to cope, it's not going to be working in the same way for you as it did. Because literally, as I've said, you cannot bypass this time. You can't deny it. It's not like in the past where you could ignore it, kind of drown your sorrows and move on. Because in the morning, it's still there. And this wave of bringing up that old stuff is getting stronger and stronger and stronger until we peak. And that won't be too far away. So really, you can't delay with this anymore. So the things that used to soothe you won't be working for you in the same way, because that stuff coming up is still going to be coming up. And in fact, trying to drown your sorrows, as they say, diverting or self-soothing or emotional eating or whatever that used to work is probably now going to amplify your problem on top, because not only have you got the same old stuff coming up, you've got the excess kilos that you didn't want from the emotional eating, you've got the hangover from the drinking, or whatever it is that's, the personal story. So you are literally going to be forced to look at your stuff, to clear it, to step up, and to face what you've been avoiding. I guess it will be make or break for many people, for some people. I hope you choose that this will be the making of you, because in fact, that's what it's designed for. We know that through dealing with the tough times is how we come into our greatness, right? And this is the opportunity for you. If you choose it to be, you could say, you know what, I need to sort myself out and I'm going to do it. As I say, get the support that you need. So there will be more stress and pressure as we go through this year, unless we choose to be in balance, to sort our stuff out. And it's important, don't try and fit this into your life, because there will never be time. There'll never be a space. You have to choose to make it a priority. So in order to bring balance into your life, you really need to simplify your life. In a way, we all did quite a lot of that in lockdown, didn't we? The things that we often go out and distract ourselves with were taken away from us because we were locked down, everything was closed. So we only really had ourselves to focus on. Sadly, this is what has increased the suicide rates globally, because people were struggling to face themselves isolated from everything. The rate of depression and drinking and, taking of antidepressants and things has all skyrocketed because people have struggled to face the stuff that was coming up inside of them due to this lockdown, this forced isolation. For some people, though, it really has been the making of them. I've had my best couple of years ever, to be honest, in terms of new clients coming to me saying, finally, their workplace is closed and they've now got the time to work on themselves. So they've done that work, they've, processed their stuff, they've developed, and they've come out shining brightly, which again, I see as the potential for all of us, especially this year. So, that's one of the good things of lockdown. I know that not everybody will agree with me, but from what I'm seeing, that's it. So there are more pressures to come if you choose to simplify your life and focus on the things that are meaningful to you. So our personal values, what is really important to you? If you focus on that, it will bring you balance, it will bring you peace if you put that as a priority in your life. Now, only you can work out what's most important to you, and it may be different than your husband, wife, partner, family, friends. But it's important that you follow what's important to you. Don't go along with the crowd on this. This is all about personal sovereignty and freedom. And this is why you have to come into the truth of who you are, what you're here for, what things mean to you, what is your value. When you come into alignment in that way, by really honoring what's in your heart, what's important to you, that is where your natural abundance comes from. You are the source of your abundance, but only when you're in alignment with it, not when you're out there distracted by many of the other things. So simplify, get rid of the extraneous stuff that is a distraction, and just pull yourself in and focus on what's important to you and how you can best be of service in this world. Because when you give in that way from your heart, then you are rewarded back. There is always an exchange of energy, unless you're betraying yourself in some way. That's a video for another time. But come into alignment with your truth, and that's the place from which your abundance can flow, can come. So you give out, when you're aligned, it flows back to you naturally, because you are the source of your abundance. So this energy wave of breakthrough that's coming is all about us taking the inspired action steps that we need to do, as I say, about being in alignment, about being with what's valuable to us, what's most important, our own personal values. And when we do that, the energy is here now, really to support your success and to amplify your success. So I think April is going to be a quite amazing month time, or move us into a new time For me, it appears to be all about like a new doorway or something, like a new era, a new timeline, but we kind of open into that space, the energies in the right places, and it really moves us through very nicely if we're prepared for it. But we can't keep procrastinating on that. As I've said, we have to do the work now. We have to be in readiness for it. So if you're feeling stuck, if you don't know what you should be doing to be ready for this opportunity, reach out to me, send me a DM, and let's talk about where you're stuck. Not everybody knows where they're stuck, but actually this is one of my areas of expertise, helping people get unstuck. I've been doing it for 25 years. And if you need some help to find out what you need to focus on, how you can get unstuck, then reach out to me, because I can help you with that. Now, oops, I need to change my page here. Okay. This bit, control, power, and authority. This is what we are looking at in the larger landscape. These structures of control, power, and authority over us are the structures that are breaking down. But everything then has to be recreated from the ground up. And what I see, when you go on a freedom march, there are people there from all walks of life. There are from babies, children, teenagers, all the way through to grandma, grandpa. They are every religion, every ethnicity, every level of society, from people who do what we may consider menial tasks, all the way to the very high level corporate lawyers, doctors, the whole range of professions is there. And these people are standing for their freedom, their right to choose. Now, when we look at these people, a rally of 150,000 people is a big range of the population. And in that group of people are many, many skills that we will need as we move into this new era. The people that are kind of fighting or standing for freedom, they have a spiritual consciousness, actually. They may not consider themselves spiritual, but they're there about freedom. They're there about sovereignty, and that is spiritual. This is not religion-based spirituality. And I think what we're going to see is people moving into personal spirituality, as they connect with spirit, the spirit within them, connect with their heart, and begin to move into this new timeline consciously, and much more in tune with people's rights. So that's just one freedom rally that I went to, 150,000 people, and these are worldwide. There are millions of people thinking more consciously. And these people will be the ones that we need to come together, actually, all of us, and begin to put these new structures in place in medicine, in education, in law, in government, but not in the same way that it's been government. So we're going to see the breaking down of all of these structures in order that we can rebuild and replace from the ground up. That's very, very exciting. Obviously, it's not done in 5 minutes. And because of that, we need to move into a new era of being brave enough to try new things, not being stagnant, not being stuck in the old way, which clearly is breaking down. It doesn't work. Some things, yes, will be brought through and then will be developed. We know that there is some amazing technology on this planet already that has been suppressed by governments because they can't make money from it, in pharmaceuticals, environmental, all of this. And I'm really excited that people will be in this new wave of energy, will be given the opportunity and support to really bring these to the public for the better for the betterment of everyone and for the planet. And so I'm really, really excited about all of that. And of course, it's only because I look at alternative news channels and, you know, sources of information, because you will never hear that in the mainstream. So that's really exciting. New things like pioneering things, you know. So don't be stagnant, don't be stuck in the past. If you know, you don't want to be swimming up the river and then just sit back, because you'll get carried back into the old way. We need to keep striving to keep moving forward at the moment. I think that's really exciting. Now, I've gone on a long time, so I'll just finish this a little bit. So we know that the government has been trying to control us, and more people are saying, oh, you know, just get used to it. This is the way it's going to be. We know that the government are planning these agendas that they want to control us, suppress us, break down our physical body, break our spirit. But it doesn't need to be that way. I think it's time for us all to come together. I've spoken before how community is important. Reach out and find like-minded people, because as we come together in these little groups all over the place, this is how we raise things from the ground up. We connect with people, and this is about, you know, the evolving of human consciousness. It's not about controlling and suppressing. It's about reaching out, expanding ourselves a little bit, to be with these new communities, and that we grow and expand together. People that have freedom and sovereignty, you know, at the top of their mind and in their heart. This wave of consciousness can't be stopped. And, you know, in order to stay on track, we need to keep moving forward and be, as I say, pioneering, try new things in our life, in our business, with our health, and keep moving. Now, we've got a Mercury retrograde coming up, and I know everybody loves that or cringes about it. I think it's about the 14th, 15th of January. Perfect time to go back and look over the things that we still need to clear up. Things that are holding us back, old emotional stuff that we haven't cleared yet, wounds, emotional wounds, old belief systems that are holding us rigid. It's the time to let them go so that we can move forward with much more clarity and with a higher vibration. As I've mentioned, this is not the time for procrastination, and I will be talking about that in another video. Can you hear me? I'm speaking quicker to try and get it all in. Basically, if there's something that you've been thinking about doing, now is the time to do it. Just step in, stop procrastinating. It's not going to help you to move forward if you're sitting there going, oh yeah, I'm going to do that next time. Oh, I'll do that one time. Oh, I must get round to that. That is all stagnation, procrastination. It doesn't help you. It's really important to move forward. If the things that you're procrastinating on are actually the things that are going to bring you in alignment with your truth and abundance, wouldn't you want to be doing it now? Why are you procrastinating or sabotaging the abundant flow of energy, your abundance? Why are you procrastinating on that? So, you know, until you do step forward into this thing that you know you should do, whatever it is, you will be slightly out of alignment. It may be a micro adjustment only, but if this is the one thing that moves you forward, why would you delay? Why are you holding back? Just do it. That's the message. Just do it. Move forward. Stop procrastinating. So now that I'm talking about abundance, let me mention as well, quick reminder, my course Abundance Bootcamp starts again for a new round, starting on the 10th of January for this next live round with coaching, group coaching with me. However, this time, because it's going to be a delicious 2022, I've decided to offer anybody that signs up before the 6th of January a free coaching call with me, a coaching session. So if you've been thinking of joining me in Abundance Bootcamp, now is the time. A, because we don't want to procrastinate and sabotage ourselves. B, because just do it. That's the message. And thirdly, that you get a free coaching call with me. So now is a great time to do it. If you want the details, send me a DM, reach out to me across everywhere that I am: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I'm Karen Turpin, abundance coach. And DM me. I'm very open to DMs, private messages. So don't procrastinate, don't delay. Join us in Abundance Bootcamp, get in alignment, heal your past, and get right in the flow of the divine abundance that wants to come to you, because you are the source of your abundance. So when you sort yourself out, everything flows beautifully for you, I promise. So that's it from me today. Slightly longer again than I planned, but hey, it's a year in our view, isn't it? Not just a week this time, but really where we're moving into for this whole year. So I hope it's been helpful to you. I would love your feedback and your comments. As I say, I'm very open to DMs. And if you want more information about Abundance Bootcamp, don't delay, don't procrastinate, because we will be starting without you and you'll miss the boat. So hope to hear from you soon. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.